tend to ignore the Nigerian stock market, but do you know that the stock market right now, especially in Nigeria, is making some investors very rich? I want to share with you the Nigerian stocks that are currently growing my money and how you too can get in on this earlier, because the earlier the better. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Peace, and on this space I share with you everything I'm learning, everything that is working, what is not working. I'm sharing all of that with you on this space. So if you're interested in that, you might want to clock in, join the family, and do all the good stuff, because I'm definitely going to be sharing with you all the tips I learned about personal finance. So let's get in on it. But before we go on, I want to put this disclaimer out there. I'm not a finance expert. We all know that I'm sharing with you everything I'm learning on my journey to $1 million. So you might want to do further research if you decide to go in and buy these stocks that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video. Everything I'm sharing with you are all things I've learned, things that from research, news that I've read and all. So if you decide to further go in and buy these stocks, we have to agree that you're making that decision on your own. Not necessarily that because I told you this is what is working, that means you take it as finance advice and then run with it. You still have to do further research. So if we are all on the same page now, we can go on and share with you everything that is working currently, all that I've learned, and the information you need to get you started. But before I share with you my current stock portfolio, I want to share with you why the Nigerian stock market is all of a sudden experiencing this growth that because it did not start from today. So there are some underlying reasons as to why this is happening. Let's talk about that before we now go into share my portfolios and all the stocks that are currently booming. There are several factors that are contributing to the significant growth of the Nigerian stock market right now, and some of them are economical, others investment trends and all. But now let's talk about the economic conditions that are causing this to happen. The very first one, which might not be the happiest things for Nigerians right now, is the fact of the devaluation of the naira, and another thing, inflation. Devaluation of the naira means that our money now is now lower than the dollar. Like with just $1 you can buy almost 1,700 naira. I'm not really sure of the rate right now of the naira. So this is making it very interesting for foreign investors to come into Nigeria and buy into businesses, because now naira is cheaper than the dollar, so they can easily come in to buy Nigerian businesses. And the safest way for them to do this is usually through stocks. So you find that there are so many foreign investors right now coming into Nigeria thanks to the devaluation of the naira. Another thing is, because of inflation, many Nigerians are now seeing stocks as a way for them to hedge against inflation, because with inflation, what you could buy with 1 million naira last year is not the same thing you can buy with 1 million naira this year. If I'm to say that, you might even only be able to get 500,000 naira's worth as of today if you had used this same money to buy something last year. So inflation is really something that is affecting every Nigerian. So many people are now seeing it that instead of me keeping my money inside the bank where it is making only low to nothing interest, I would rather go and put my money in stocks market where at least it is growing, it is hedging my money against inflation. Next is investment trends. So with the boom in the banking industry, with them reporting high earnings, and if you notice recently, almost all the banks put out their shares like come and buy. This was because the Central Bank of Nigeria had increased the capitalization requirements of banks. So many banks obviously would not want to merge with another bank, which happened the last time when capitalization was increased to 25 million, and many people had to start merging. Like two banks will now merge so that they can meet up to the 25 million naira as at then. But right now it was increased so much to 100 million, I believe, and now you are now having to put out your shares out there just to raise money. So this is one thing that the banks did to raise a lot of money. So many people, with many people buying into the stock market, it just shows that something good is happening there. So this increases the valuation of the banks, and this is now coupled with their reported earnings. Maybe at the end of the year they always put out reports of what they've earned after tax. With this now boosts the customers or investors' confidence in these banks. Okay, these banks are growing, let me put my money in there. So that is something you should have at the back of your mind. Another thing is the boom in fintech in Nigeria. Because fintech is now almost everybody has access to fintech. When we are talking about fintech, we are talking about your money points, OPay, all these things that have now made it easy for people you can transfer money now and you will get it in the next minute. And interestingly, it is surprising to know that Nigeria is one of the 6th growing. Like when it comes to the banking industry, our banking industry is like one of the things that is pushing the economy of Nigeria forward. We tend to know about oil. Why oil is very important? The banking industry is really booming in Nigeria, and their reported earnings is always increasing every day. So these banks, all those 2 naira they are collecting from you, they are making a lot of money. All these are now meaning that with fintech boom, with banking boom, like it now makes people to have more confidence in these places that okay, we can invest here instead of keeping my money in the banks with these people. I can buy their shares and hedge my money against inflation. And with this rise in fintech, now people can buy into stocks easily because of the platforms like Bamboo, Trove, Chaka, all these places where you can buy stocks. Now ordinary everyday Nigerian can easily go and buy stock without having the need to go to like the Nigerian Stock Exchange building to go and tell them, okay, I need this broker, I want to buy stocks, which was the way it used to be before. But now with all these fintech platforms, people have easy access. On my phone here, I can just sit down and buy 100 stocks. So this now makes it more accessible for people to buy into stocks. Another investment trend, or this is a trend, but is the oil and gas sector. This sector is one that is ever relevant in Nigeria because 80% of our revenue comes from the oil and gas sector. Any oil that Nigeria sells, like the money we usually get is in dollars. So this means that we always have this foreign currency in the oil sector, especially companies like Seplat, Owando, which saw a very high revenue increase because of the increase in oil prices in the global market. Now you now find that many people are having trust in these companies and now having to invest in them. Owando's own is like something else. The increase in their shares, like the price of their shares, it is something that and with the fact that they even bought Ajib, now they now have more resources to pump out more oil. This will now in turn mean that it will now increase their revenue, so they now have enough money to say okay, they are well positioned in the oil and gas sector. Now people will have confidence in them and want to buy into these places. Another reason why like the Nigerian Stock Exchange or the Nigerian stock market is growing is thanks to social media. Yes, social media, like me and you now talking like this, we are talking about the stock market. People are now being more informed because I talk about it, you hear it, you might want to share it with another person. You see, like word of mouth, information flying here and there, and because you don't want to just rely on your normal keeping your money in the bank, which is not making you as much money, you want to go and tell somebody else this is where they are saving money now. Like, with that, information keeps flying around. So social media is really taking part in influencing why the stock market is growing. So fintech, banking sector, oil and gas sector, devaluation of the naira, all these are a big reason why the Nigerian stock is growing. So people are now having the confidence to want to invest in them, not only focusing on foreign stocks, because with the amount of growth that I've seen in some of the companies that I'm going to be sharing with you right now, you'll be surprised that you've never heard of these things before. Where have I been? Have I been living under a rock? But that's why I'm here to put you on game, because I don't want to leave you out of this. So let's get right into it. The top performing Nigerian stocks currently, all these companies I'm going to be mentioning to you are all bordering around the oil and gas sector, the banking sector, the health sector, insurance sector, like places you would not even expect. One of the companies I'm going to be mentioning right now, you'll be shocked that you've never heard of this company, but it made a huge, if not even the hugest increase in shares. Like the amount of jump they had was quite surprising. So let's get into it. The very first company that really performed well in 2024, so most of this information I'm going to be giving you is their growth in 2024, because we are still on in 2025, and usually like this is tallied till the end of the year to give you like their growth prospects for this year 2025. So whatever information I'm going to be giving you now is for 2024. The first company I'm going to be talking about is Transcorp Hotel. They saw a huge increase in their shares price, and which means the valuation of their shares really grew a whole lot. It was even quite surprising that in 2024 alone, they saw the highest increase in their stock shares with appreciation of 1022% increase in their share price. And one thing that usually informs my decision to buy into these companies, either somebody is fighting another person because of stocks, or there's news concerning these stocks. Like I try to do as much research as I can about these companies, and at a point in 2023 or so, there was a serious fight between Tony Elumelu and Otedola concerning this transnational holdings. Transnational holdings is the body that where Transcorp Hotel is under. And this fight was a serious fight based on who owns what, and for that fight to be so loud in the Nigerian media, you know that okay, there's something important going on here. So it usually adds to what influences my decision to buy into this stock. So Transcorp Hilton is the very first one. When I first bought this stock last year November, it was like 1,000 naira per share. The second one is Owando. Like I mentioned this earlier, Owando is one of the companies that saw serious growth in 2024. Their shares increased by 529% in 2024 alone, which now meant that they went from 10 naira 50 kobo to 66 naira before the year end. Just imagine you had invested 1 million naira maybe when it was still 10 naira, and then it increased to 66 naira per share. Just do that calculation yourself. You know that it is a huge jump. So people cashed out very well, but unfortunately I did not enter this early on. I just found out about this recently, and I've made sure to go and buy my own. So you better go and buy shares in Owando. Not a financial advice, but I'm just putting you on game. Another one that is not popularly known, Unicell Interlinks. This company, like, they are low-key cashing out. People don't really know about it, but I found out about it recently, and I rushed to go and buy these shares because they saw 502% increase in 2024 in their share price. And this company is into engineering, manufacturing. They provide services for the power sector and almost all the sectors out there, but many Nigerians don't know about this place. So you might want to go and do further research about this company because it seems they are cashing out more than we know. The next company now is Geregu Power Holdings. Geregu is one that was quite interesting to me because of this same fight that happened between Tony Elumelu and Otedola. It made me to find out about Geregu Power Holdings. This is a power company that was bought in 2013 by Otedola, and Otedola that we know right now is a billionaire, and this is a huge contribution to why he became a billionaire. Like, the power holdings is one of the companies that is said to produce power using a clean energy source, which is gas turbines. It is one of the leading power gencos in Nigeria. You know how they have Eco Electric, Ikeja Electric Distribution. This Geregu Power Holdings is one that has been leading this group since 2013, and they've been doing very well. Like, their share price, I bought this thing in November last year at 1,000. Right now, the last time I checked, it was at 1,035 naira. Like, just imagine that jump from November till this time that I'm talking to you. So this is one that has very high prospects. One that I've never heard about before now is Sunu Assurances. When I was doing my research for this company, I was quite surprised. Like, I've never heard of this place. They are part of the companies that is said to be among the top performing stocks in Nigeria. In 2024, it had 877% increase in their share price. And interestingly, this company is found in 17 African countries. Sunu Assurances is under Sunu Group, which is like a company that is into life insurance. So how many Nigerians really buy into life insurance? I found myself questioning. But apparently there are so many people, because for their stock price to go that high, you know that somebody really took interest, or almost everybody took interest. We just did not know about it. So this company, their stock price went from 1 naira 10 kobo to 10 naira 75 kobo before the end of 2024. Just imagine how good that is. It is one place you should look into investing if you want to invest in stock. This last one, all the while I used to see this place in Ikeja, I never knew that they were cashing out on a low in Nigeria. And this is Julie PLC. So Julie PLC is into medical services, pharmaceutical services, dentistry, orthopedics, everything medical services. And they saw the highest growth among all these companies that I've said. Even when Transcorp Hilton got the most emerging, Transcorp Hilton getting that emerging is because from January till this time in 2025. So their information is from January 2025 to this point. So they had a massive growth. But Julie PLC last year cashed out big time because they had 1,646% increase in their stock price, making them go from 0.55 naira to 10 naira 30 kobo in share price. Just imagine that. Imagine you had invested in Julie PLC in January. At the end of the year, they are telling you that it increased this much. They have cashed out. That is what some of us missed, or at least those that don't know about it, this is what they missed. So I just thought to put you on game about these companies that you might want to look into if you want to start investing in the Nigerian stock environment, because it is really booming right now. And with the devaluation of naira, if you are coming in from outside with your dollar or with your other currency, you are going to cash out. And the last one, this one Like I've mentioned it before, banks like Zenith Bank, UBA, GTCO, all these companies really saw huge growth in their stocks last year because of they put out their shares out for people to buy, and because of their increase in earnings which was reported, so people are now having more confidence in them to buy into them. So these are some of the top performing stocks that took place in Nigeria last year, and I believe more is going to be happening this year. So don't allow anybody to be telling you that investing in stock is risky, is this, is that. There's nowhere that there's no risk, so you might want to make your wise decision, do your research and buy into these options so that you can hedge your money against inflation, so that you can make more interest compared to just keeping your money in the bank. Will you say there are no risks in buying stocks in Nigeria, especially with our history with how naira goes up and down? Obviously there is risk, but you can't just keep your money in the bank. You have to hedge your money against inflation. Like I said, you have to watch out for what is happening. All that matters is that you try your best to diversify your investments. So don't just throw your eggs in one basket and invest in only one stocks. I've given you like 7 different options of places to invest your money in. Just imagine that you divide whatever money you have every month. You say you're putting this particular amount into the stocks, you are bound to make good money. Investing is a risk, so is the devaluation of your money in the bank. So do your research, choose wisely and invest your money in places where it will be hedged against inflation and has a high probability of growing. But before investing, make sure to do proper research and have more knowledge about the companies you are investing in before going into them. So which Nigerian stock do you think will explode next year or this year? I would love to hear from you. For me, I feel like Geregu still has very high potentials to grow more. So what do you think about this? Let me know in the comments. If you have any predictions, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it interesting. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and check out any of the videos you see on screen, because I know it will definitely help you in making decisions when it comes to finances. I'm your financial girly, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.